Hello everyone, welcome back to Eastwick Cottage Garden. I hope you are doing well. I hope that you guys had a blessed Easter for those who celebrate. And today is Earth Day, so happy Earth Day to everyone. And I wanted to come out here and do a garden tour. I wanted to do one in mid-April, but that didn't happen. So I didn't want to wait till late April because there's some things blooming and some things are fading away, and I wanted to catch them on camera before they were totally gone. So this is our mid to late April garden tour for 2025. I also have an announcement. I want to introduce you to the newest member of the garden family. This is Jazz, and she is a 4-month-old Eskapoo, so she's American Eskimo and Poodle, and she will be joining us in our garden adventures. So you will see her prancing around. She's on a lead because she's very new to the whole garden life and likes to kind of nibble and lick at plants that she probably shouldn't be looking at and nibbling at. So you won't see her totally on her own. She'll be watched at all times. So we're going to do this garden tour and see how we can do this with having Jazz in tow. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we're just going to get started on our tour. So unlike our normal tours where we go into the immersive garden space, I really don't want Jazz in here. So we're going to do this from the outside. So here, I'm just going to point at things. We have our phenomenal lavender, which is doing great. Things are starting to green up. I wanted to point out that the irises in here are looking lovely, and I'm so excited to see so much more color on them than last year. They're really delightful. I will put the name on the screen for that because I cannot remember. But we also have back here the penstemon. I think it's Penstemon mystica. That is coming up. We have the phlox coming up back here, and then some phlox coming up here. You can see that the Shasta daisies are coming up. And back in this area here, we have our Heliopsis, our false sunflower, that is coming up. The knockout roses have put on a lot of growth. And here on this side, Kaleidoscope Abelia is really showing out, looking wonderful. And we have a lot of growth on the daylilies on this side and over here. These are the dark red daylilies. Our pots are starting to have some flowers in them. I still need to plant up the violas that we got from Mastardi. But things are starting to flush out and look more lively in this space. And then back in here, we have the apricot Asiatic lilies back in here coming up as well. Coming around to the front of the immersive garden space, we have a lot of growth. I'm still, every time I walk past this juniper, I'm very, very amazed. From the way that it looked when I had it right in the front of the house to the way it looks now is absolutely stunning. We have our paprika heuchera coming in, and we still have color and activity on. They're starting to go to seed, but on all of the hellebores, there's still some action going on here. And this is the columbine. This is a tequila sunrise columbine. These are the English daisies. I think I'm going to put them in this flower bed here. Patty stated that I was asking people if they had experience with English daisies, and she has experience, and she said they don't really like the heat. So I'm going to try to keep them under the shade of the dogwood tree here so they can get some afternoon shade. So hopefully they'll last a little bit longer and maybe we can keep them through. But you can still see that there's a lot of the hellebores that still have some kind of color and some new flowers. Well, this is actually all the way gone, but let's see. Yeah, they're all the way gone, but they still have some color on it. Oh, this is a fairly new one. And then this is the Rio Carnival here. So it kind of alternates between the two of those. And this heuchera here is called Fire Alarm. I have to trim back the zebra grass so that because it's starting to come in at the bottom here. So I need to cut it back so that we don't lose a lot of the points on the new growth of the grass. Here in the long border, some things are fading out, but was really, really nice to see the daffodils that we had here and the snowdrops that came in. So these are dying back, but those were the Angel's Breath daffodils. There's some more around the property that are fresher. And then we have back here, we have the early cheer And also some leucogems are coming in as well here. And then we have some daffodils back in the corner here. And the brandywine viburnum is putting on a lot of growth. And I'm gonna come here and we can see that it's starting to put up some flower shoots. So that should be really pretty in the coming season. We talked about in the previous video, the salvia here and the perennial viola I'm putting in these containers. Jeff is going to come and help me with some soil because I can't lift the bag, or I might try to scoop out some soil from the bag and go with that. And we have the yellow twig dogwood. It's putting on a lot of its new growth. Coming down here, we put in the cypress, the Chamaecyparis here, or the false cypress here, and then there's one down lower on the lower down to kind of add an evergreen accent to the garden area. And the rose that we have here, this is one of the Living Easy roses. It's doing really great, starting to flush in. And some of the grasses that we put there, the sweet flag, we put one here and then there's one further down. We also put the trifolium here, and then there's one further down. I got some other plants that I'm going to plant in the area too to kind of fill it out some. But you can see here on this one, this is more of the angel's breath daffodil with more color on it. And these leucogem up here are really doing a great job. So coming down here, this is another of the Living Easy roses. And remember, I pointed out that these are own root roses. So even though we had a little die back here, it's still going to come back true because it's its own root system. And we will get the flowers that we were intending to get. So down in this area, we have more of the same. Here's the other Chamaecyparis and the other container that I need to fill in. And this is the Alfred Sisley rose right here. Again, own root. Add some dye back here, but you can see that it's coming back through at the bottom, and it should be okay in this coming season and strengthen up throughout the years. Here in this area are herbs that we have in the front border here. We have the lemon thyme, the barbecue rosemary, and the purple sage. They are coming in very nicely. And this is the first Living Easy rose that we planted last year, which is looking phenomenal. And we have our Sunjoy Barberry Gold Pillar with a bee on it. I don't know if you can see the bee. There's a lot of bees on it because it's in flower. So that is doing really, really nicely and adds a nice pop of color in there. And the mums are coming up back in this row. And we have our sedum here. Oh my gosh. I couldn't even find the tag. It's a wildfire sedum. It grew so much that it grew over the tag. And this is a blue Veronica. The name just slipped my mind. I will put the name on the screen. But those are coming up well. We have 3 of them throughout the garden bed. And you can see here that we have the leucogems coming up through the early chair daffodils. Here again is another one of the Veronica. And you can see the greenery here on Conversation in Style Iris with the Greenspire euonymus. And here you can see that the candy tuft are doing their thing as well. So I'm going to show this from this side because I don't want her running in the street. But we have our roses that we planted along with more of the Greenspire euonymus. And everybody is doing well. Jeff's going to come and do the cardboard and compost and the rest of the front. I've ordered some plants, so we'll be able to plant up these areas. And here's our row of daffodils and leucogem. The yellow daffodils have kind of faded out. Some of the white ones are coming in and some fading out as well. And you can see more of the flower bed in the front here as well. So around the tree here, we have our alternating Delta Dawn and Paprika Heuchera. with some daffodils that are fading out coming around the back end here. And some weeds. We have to do that. We have to take care of the weeds. And then this front bed, this is the maple border. You can see here we have the peonies coming up, doing really well. I checked and there's some flower buds on that. And back in here we have the geum that has some flower buds starting to come up. We still have some of the remains of the hellebores over in this area, and still some remaining of the vinca, and a little bit of the muscari coming in. And this one, this peony, this is the Shirley Temple one. This one I know for sure because this one actually bloomed last year, and I hope we get a lot more on it this year. And so it's doing well. All the daylilies that we transplanted are doing well. And this is May Breeze phlox, and that's coming in nicely. We still have, so here's some of the, you can see it better. These are the Angel's Breath daffodils. So there's a whole lot of the daylilies here that need to be thinned out and moved and transplanted. This is more of the May Breeze, looking lovely and blooming. I do apologize for any really crazy camera angles or shaking. Trying to make sure that Jazz doesn't get into trouble while we're doing this tour. So we have some daffodils that we planted along this walk here, the alleyway, just to give a little pop of color. A lot of them are pointing towards the neighbors, which is totally fine because it's nice to share what you have in your garden space for everyone to see. Coming back here into the orchard bed and grape bed, everything is starting to fill in quite a bit, which I'm really happy about. So down here we have Paquito yellow agastaki, and we still have some of the muscari and more of the Angel's Breath daffodils. And we have a lot of greenery coming in on our red twig dogwoods. So next year we will thin these out to allow more of the more red coloring to come in on the newer branches. We'll thin out the older ones. I'm still trying to keep some of the height. We still need to do some cleanup, so that's on the list. I made a list of what Jeff and I need to accomplish in the next few weeks. Now that the temperatures have gone well over 50 degrees for an extended period of time, we can clean up without fear of disturbing the bees. So looking forward to that. And here's some of the early cheer that's looking really, really pretty. So this is what it looks like in its glory. We have our popcorn drift rose looking spectacular. We have some Walker's Low Catmint back here looking great. And the Artemisia silver mound is coming in nicely. We need to clean out around it. But here's some more of the Walker's Low. And we have some salvia coming up. You can see down here, this is the Midnight Model salvia. Oh, actually, no, this is the Lyrical Blues. We swapped out the Midnight Model. It started to fade, so we swapped that out. So these is Lyrical Blues. And we have some flower stalks on here. There's a leucogem coming up between the early cheer daffodils. So that is nice. And this is a Veronica. This is Veronica white wands. We have some in the maple border too, but I didn't point them out. But they're all coming up nicely. So we also have our beautiful Coronation Gold yarrow. If you guys remember from last year, it stands about 4 feet tall and has beautiful, beautiful yellow flat flowers, and it's beautiful. And down here is our Prince Henry Japanese anemone coming in nicely. We have some echinacea coming in back there, which is great. And down here we have our Midnight Model salvia. So there's one here, and then there are two over here mixed in with some more of the early cheer. And then here is another Tequila Sunrise columbine. And you can see here on this Midnight Model that it's already started to bloom and going to town. So looking very nice. We have our lavender coming in back here. This one is doing really great. Back here, this one's really great. These are kind of struggling along, but we're going to see if we can keep them, see what they'll do. We're going to come back to our Canadice grapevine here. It's putting out some leaves, so that is very nice. And there's Jazz trying to get into the flower pot. So that's very nice. So hopefully we'll have a good crop this year of some tasty little grapes. So coming back through this way, you can see the garden bed from this view. We have some more of the gold pillar sunjoy barberry here, and our strawberries coming back here into the orchard area are doing great. There's a lot of flowers on there, so looking forward to seeing what they do this year. Our plum tree, this is the Morris plum, is looking very, very healthy, and we had a lot of flowers, so hopefully we'll get some harvest on that. We have our raspberries here. These are like an ever-bearing raspberry. It's supposed to be fall gold, but we'll see what we get with that. So they're coming in. We trimmed them back in a previous video. We have our wild blackberries also doing well, coming in. And then back here, I'm going to show you some more, but we have our snake's head fritillaria. We have the purple, and there were some of them were white as well, but they're doing great. And here's our rose called the Pilgrim. It's a climbing rose. It's doing great. Hopefully we'll put out a lot of flowers. We got some flowers on it last year, but hopefully we'll get a lot more. And coming back to this flower bed that we need to clean out, but we have some more of the early cheer. We have the Party Lights Osmanthus growing. But here, oh, look, it's a bumblebee on the snake's head fritillaria. And there's a white one here. You can see that. And then the purple one there. And then there's a bunch of them back in this area right here. Back there. The peach tree still has some remaining blooms on it, but it did very well. We covered it up. So hopefully we were able to protect the blooms that were there and maybe get some peaches. I did buy some covering that's netted so that we could protect it from the squirrels when the peaches start to develop. So down under this area, we kind of have a woodland thing going on. The woodland blend has kind of faded away, and we have some daffodils coming in and some daffodils going out. Over here, you can see the honeysuckle is really filling out. I'm going to come in and trim some back and put some in arrangements, but it's kind of nice to have it, and it smells absolutely amazing when they start blooming. Coming over here to Lazarus, the fig tree. There's still some life in here. There's still some buds form on the ends of the leaves. And we have some of the snake's head fritillaria around here mixed in with some of the remaining angel's breath daffodils. Here we have our Morris plum that we just planted. We just got this year. It had a lot of flowers on it, and thankfully they survived the frost. So we'll see if we get any fruit. I'm not really expecting a whole lot for the next few years, but hopefully it'll start a good life and be healthy to continue on. The goji berry bush is doing well, really well since it got pruned back hard. I need to come in and do some more trimming before we get any buds setting. I did dry some goji berries last year. I don't really like them, so I probably am just going to leave them for the birds. But we have our mock orange that's still struggling along. It's got a lot of buds on it, so we'll see what it does this year. And honestly, in the span of a few hours, came out earlier today, and they did not have this leaf growth on the crepe myrtle. So they are coming alive into their own very quickly. We also have to take care of this zebra grass as well. Cut this back. I'm gonna need some help with this. It's a little wild. Do a lot of cleanup back here in the woodland garden area. Things are coming out. Oh wow, look, so the Brunnera. This is Jack Frost Brunnera. It just had little stalks on it when I looked the other day, and now they're actually blooming. We have some bindweed in here that we need to get rid of. I need to cut back the ferns, but this is the cherry berry hosta that is coming in. And then we have our heucherella and then heuchera coming in around this area. And we also have beautiful flower representation on the primrose, which is adding a nice little bright light in the back here. We still have some hellebore hanging on here, and of course some daffodils back here doing their thing as well. So back here, the viburnum that we planted, this is the sweet talker viburnum, and it is doing great. And it flowered, and I'm very happy about that, and it's got some leaves on it, so I think it's going to be very happy in this position. So of course, my pride and joy of the whole garden is this beautiful ornamental cherry tree, and it looks fantastic. And I needed to catch this on camera because, as you can see, the petals are already starting to fall, and if we get any more super strong winds, they're going to come down. The daffodils under the tree here, these are the early blooming daffodils that we have. They are done for the season. We have some fritillaria over in this area here coming in. And it's just really nice to have these in here. And I'm going to swing around over here. We can see that the dogwood is also in full bloom, and they're very, very pretty aspects in the garden space. And back here we have the hellebore row that is doing well, and still has some color on there. We'll trim the flower stalks back in a little bit, and you can see that the daylilies are also doing very well. And here's another aspect of the immersive bed, since we weren't actually able to walk in it today, but you can see that everything is growing and looking lovely. This is the other juniper, which I love. Here is the grandma rose, which is doing fantastic. This is a wild berry heuchera back here next to the hellebore that is fading out. And here you can see that the Bath's pink dianthus is getting ready to bloom and put on its show. We need to do some cleaning out. I need to also, you can see the bishop's goutweed that's in here. I need to come in here and kind of tackle that a bit as well. We have a lot of the candy tuft in this area that's blooming out. The pancake arborvitae is doing great. We need to clean out the inside of this. This kind of started to sprout, and then we got like a frost, so I think it kind of killed the middle of that. So we'll just clean that out. The outside looks pretty good, so I think we can salvage that. We have some sedum back in here. We'll also have to get rid of the weeds in there as well. But that is what's going on right there. I think these are the most beautiful pansies that I've ever seen, and I want to thank my friend Carol again for giving me these, because they are very super vibrant. We are going to come in and clean out this bed, and we, meaning I mean Jeff, is going to come out and clean out some of the things that I can't get out of this bed. And you could see here that the pennisetum back here, we cut it back, but it is starting to bloom out. This is our Peter Cottontail yarrow. I need to get one to replace it on the other side that died, but it's doing great. We have our Azure Rush geranium, which is coming in, doing great. We had some of the tete-a-tete daffodils that are done, and then some more daffodils that are coming in here. Then we have, this is Cat's Pajamas Nepeta. So it's a little smaller than the Walker's Low, but it's already starting to put out some flowers, and that is great. And then some more of the popcorn drift roses and the echinacea. This is the apricot, fresco apricot drift rose here, and they're doing well. And this is a 9 bark. It's a tiny wine 9 bark back here, the tiny wine 9 bark, and that's doing well. It's going to bloom lovely pink and white flowers, so excited about that. Coming over, of course, to the sister bed to all of that, and then we're going to make the changes that we spoke about before with replacing the diamond spire gardenia with the Chamaecyparis or false cypress that we have remaining. Okay, so that is the end of our April garden tour for 2025. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed meeting Jazz, and I hope that you look forward to seeing her in upcoming videos. She will probably be on the deck in her crate under the umbrella for most of the time, so that we can kind of keep an eye on her and she doesn't get into any mischief. So if you see her on the deck, give her a wave or a shout out. Anyway, it's been lovely. I hope everybody's doing well. What is going on in your gardens? What is like shining? The weather's warming up and a lot of things are blooming, it seems like, by the hour. So what's going on in your garden space? I'd love to hear about it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.